Welcome to the virtual forum for candidates running for Bergen County Surrogate. The forum is sponsored by the Bergen County League of Women Voters, of which I serve as president, and tonight I will also be your timekeeper. The League is a nonpartisan organization, meaning we never support or oppose political candidates or parties. But we value informed decision-making, which is why we are so pleased to have the candidates join us this evening and the voters to attend this candidate forum. A recording of tonight's forum will be available on the League's website, lwvbergen.org, and on vote411.org, the League's nonpartisan voters guide. No other recording of the event for any purpose is permitted as agreed to by the candidates. Our trained and experienced moderator for tonight is Marlene Sinaglia. And as always, our moderator does not live in the voting area. She is not a resident of Bergen County. Take it away, Marlene.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. Tonight, we're going to be hearing from our candidates for Surrogate, Bergen County Surrogate. The program is divided into three parts. The first part is opening statements. The candidates were asked to prepare a 1-minute opening statement. The second, the timekeeper will show a yellow card when 30 seconds remain, and then a red card to show that time has expired and you should just finish your thought. Because there are only two candidates, we will not be as strict adhering to the time as we usually are. So if the audience notices that the candidate is keeping on talking for a while, even though the red card is up, not to get too upset. We're going to be fair. Everybody's going to have equal time given. So the opening statements, Mr. Dressler, you're going to go first, and you have approximately 1 minute.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for arranging this debate tonight. My name is Mike Dressler, and I am the Bergen County Surrogate. I want to give you a little background about my life and where we've been. On June 6, 1970, the day after my senior prom in high school, I went down the Jersey Shore as is a tradition in the state, and I dove into the ocean, broke my neck. That changed my life forever. The people of Cresskill were terrific. They came to my aid. They gave me physical therapy. They widened doorways. They built ramps for me. And when I got out of the hospital, I wanted to give something back to them. And I thought I might have a talent in government, giving back to people. And it set me on a course of public service for the rest of my life. I did graduate from Cresskill High School in 1970. In 1974, I graduated Bergen Community College, Fairleigh Dickinson University with a summa cum laude in 1976, Seton Hall Law School in 1979. After I got out of Seton Hall Law School, I served as an assistant county counsel for Bergen County. 3 years later, I was appointed county counsel, which is basically the attorney general for the county. After that, I served as a special counsel to Bergen Pines Hospital on a $40 million construction project. I went to private practice, worked for Water McPherson McNeil for 4 years, and got great experience doing trusts, estates, and probates, things of that nature. After that, I served as counsel to the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority, and for the last 25 years as Bergen County Council, Bergen County Surrogate. I served on numerous boards over the time. I was council president in Cresskill. I was the mayor in Cresskill. I served on the planning board. I was the president of the Bergen County Democratic Mayors Association. I served for 12 years on the board of trustees at Rutgers University. I was appointed by a Republican governor to serve on the New Jersey Highlands Council, which preserves the watershed in Bergen County, as well as 6 other counties in the state of New Jersey. I've also served on a foundation called One Spirit, which helps Lakota Sioux Indians in South Dakota. I've been on the board of trustees now at Holy Name Hospital for years. I'm the founder of the Margaret and Drake Dressler Foundation, which does charitable work, and also the founder of the 9/11 Education Project, which goes through Bergen County, letting high school students know about what 9/11 was about, and that they have to remember the lessons that were taught to us on that day.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Ms. Sigurnis.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Judge Dressler, for your many years of service to our hometown of Cresskill and to our county. Similarly, I am not new to public service. Since 1997, just when you began your first term as surrogate, I believe. Judge Dressler, is that correct?
That's correct.
Yes, I've also embraced public service as part of my career. I worked my way up the ladder, first using my architectural skills to assist on the zoning board, then moving up to the planning board to play a more active role in Creskill's growth, and finally on the town council, where I was first appointed by the mayor, who recognized the value of my perspective as an architect. And I was elected 3 times to serve to the citizens of Cresskill on the town council. My service on the council raised my awareness that the most important factor, but far too overlooked factor in good governance, is the community. To more equitably engage with my community, I decided to enter law school. So I studied law at Rutgers. And today, equipped with a law degree, aspiring to continue my service at higher office, when the opportunity to run for surrogate arose in the midst of this pandemic, I knew this was the office where I could best use my skills as an architect and attorney to help people. Thank you to the League of Women Voters of Bergen County for inviting us to participate in this forum.
Thank you. The second part of this forum this evening deals with the questions that were submitted by the public. These questions were screened by a screening committee of the League of Women Voters, and they were screened basically to avoid redundancy, to make sure that there were no personal attacks. So here we go. You will have approximately 1.5 minutes to respond, which means that at the end of 1 minute, you will see the yellow card. And then at the end of the 1.5 minutes, you will see the red card. After both candidates have a chance to respond to the question, if either candidate wishes to make a 30-second rebuttal statement, they may do so just by letting me know. Okay, so the first question from the public, and Ms. Sigurnis, you're going to go first with this. The question asks, in your view, what are the biggest issues facing the surrogate's office at this time?
I feel that the biggest issues facing the surrogate's office at this time are the coordination between the clerk and the surrogate's offices, and to humanize connections to best serve our citizens. I feel we need to reach out further to the public through equitable community engagement, so that our county people are prepared for when the times hit, when they're going to be coming to the surrogate's office. I value experience, but there's an incredible advantage to being new. I'll see obvious things to prioritize, improve, and execute on. I'm committed to speak to every person on staff, and I will listen and learn as to what the needs of the people are, so that through equitable community engagement, we can build the trust of the public. I feel strongly that we must work harder to educate all ages so that they are prepared and know where to turn to in times of need. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Dressler.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I have an excellent relationship with the clerk, John Hogan. We work very well in communion with each other. We have reached out to the public in amazing ways. We created a satellite surrogate office program where we have 11 offices throughout Bergen County where people can avail themselves of going locally instead of just come to Hackensack. Also, we started a education program the first year I was in office, and we go out to every town. We've been in every town. We must have seen 70 or 80,000 people in the last 25 years, educating them about wills, powers of attorney, advanced medical directives, living wills. To think that just the surrogate's office is just one of community outreach is very, very naive. The surrogate position is not one for on-the-job training. It's one that needs leadership, experience, and above all, a knowledge of the tenets of probate law. And I think that we've provided that over the last 25 years.
Thank you. Question number 2, and Mr. Dressler, you're going to answer this one first. And the question to you, and there's 2 different parts of the question, but the question directed to you is, since you were first elected surrogate, you have brought many changes and programs to the office. Are there any other programs or services that you anticipate changing or improving?
Actually, right now, we're in the process of entering into a contract for credit card services. Up to this point, because of county law, we were only involved in cash payments. So we're involving ourselves in the credit card industry right now to make things easier for people. Also, we've entered into a contract to provide services for preservation of our records. We have records that go back to the 1600s. I've talked to the freeholders for several years. Over a period of 4 years, they've given me money to do this, and we've entered the contract, and it's going to be a great boom to make sure that the records of this county that is so important to people, the history of this county, is preserved.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Sigurnas, your question is a little different because it goes from the perspective of from what you understand the duties of this office to be. Are there programs or services that you would like to see improved or changed?
Yes, I would like to see that there is a greater understanding of what a surrogate does. I found throughout the course of my campaign, when I tell people that I'm running for surrogate, the first question they ask is, what is a surrogate? So I feel the outreach needs to be more active, and we have to try harder to prepare people. There are several friends of mine that have children that have told me they don't have wills or living wills or estate documents to prepare their children should something happen to them during the course of their life. And I feel that this is something that is up to us to be proactive with and engage with our constituents to educate them. I also feel that there is a better need for coordination between the clerk and the surrogate's office. I've met people that have had ballots mailed to their homes from loved ones that passed away 2 years ago. And that's unacceptable to bring that kind of despair back into the family's lives. I also feel that the surrogate is someone that needs to take the hands-on approach of being with the staff constantly in the office, but also outside of the office. So I feel that the way I look at it coming into the surrogate's office is a little bit more of a participation in communicating with the staff as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next question, Mr. Dressler, you will answer this one first as well, and it's to you. It asks, how has the proportion of time you spend in your various duties, such as probating wills, qualifying executors, appointing administrators for estates without wills, and qualifying guardians of incapacitated persons and minors, changed over your years in office?
Well, it's changed with regard to the caseload itself. We try to meet just about everybody that we can to deal with their probate. And by the way, I have an excellent relationship with my staff. My staff is the best staff in the state of New Jersey. And the best comments we get from people is, your office isn't like a government office. And that's what I like, because we don't want to be a government office. We want to be an office that is professional, empathetic, and cares about people. And that's what we try to do in the surrogate's office for the last 25 years. But the caseload over the last 25 years has increased almost 500%. All right, and that's significant. We do what we can. We've got a limited staff, but people are great. They're great, and we've had so many technological advances in the office over the last 25 years. When I came into office, the office didn't have computers. We had form servers. We've gone through 2 technological changes with computers in the system. We've updated everything. We've got more people in the office that are well educated. When I came into office, 21% of the people in the office were college educated. Now that's up around 70%. So we've added, better educated people, better technology, and I think we've done quite well.
Thank you. And Ms. Sigurnis, based on your understanding of the functions of the surrogate's office, that includes probating wills, qualifying executors, appointing administrators for estates without wills, and qualifying guardians of incapacitated persons and minors. If elected, what are your views about changing the priorities of the surrogate's office?
So the priorities of the surrogate's office, as I mentioned earlier, would be outreach to our constituents to make sure that they are prepared. I know the office has been overwhelmed, even more so during the pandemic. And I feel that, I don't know, I think we might be the only office in Bergen County that we actually had to appoint a deputy surrogate. Is that correct, Judge Dressler?
No, I've had a deputy surrogate for the last 25 years. We added no staff during the pandemic, and we were open every single day in person. We did not close the office for one single day. My staff was there.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
day.
Dressler. Let's have Mr. Gornis answer the rest of the question.
And I think that's important. I think it's important to have the staff there to answer directly to our constituents. And I think it's also important to be there with them, amongst them. And as someone new coming into the office, I intend to speak to every person on staff and listen to how we can restructure the office to move forward. That's what it's about. It's about building our future to make things better for our people and to better inform them. And I do agree, Judge Dressler's staff is amazing, and I would be honored to be a part of them and build upon the legacy that he's created.
Thank you. Next question, Ms. Sigurnis, you're going to be going first, and the question asks, how does or how should the surrogate's office monitor success, measure public satisfaction, and determine if programs or services are delivered cost effectively and efficiently?
I feel that the measure of success is always making sure everybody has a voice and that voice is heard and that you're representing them equitably. Our job as surrogate is to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves, to represent those who are mentally incompetent, in need of guardianship, in seeking adoption, or those faced with the death of a loved one. Having that voice be equitably represented is what we can best do to serve and make and measure the level of success of our office. It's at this point, I don't think it's about experience. I think it's about compassion and it's about caring. And compassion requires understanding and feeling people's pain and knowing that and taking that at heart and understanding how we can move people forward in the aftermath of conflict and loss is how we can best judge our success.
Thank you. And Mr. Dressler, same question.
The best measure of success in our office is by the people that use the office and how they feel when they've left. And we try and make sure that, my staff has been very professional, very empathetic, they're compassionate people. They feel what people in the office are going through. And the best measure of success is the people themselves and how they feel after they've left. We try to do as much as we can with what we're given. And I think we've been very successful over the last 25 years in doing that.
Thank you. Okay, next question. And Ms. Sigurnis, you're going first again. And this question asks, would you support measures to increase the surrogate's public profile so that more residents know about its responsibilities and services?
Absolutely. I think that's one of these skills I can help with. I feel that my technical training as an architect as well as an attorney can help advance the office so that we can provide more innovative ways to outreach to our constituents. As an architect, I started every project knowing that the stakeholders should be involved and should be represented in the outcome. And by having an innovative thinker in the office, engaged with the staff, we can really make strides in getting out there, not just technologically through the Zoom media or through the platforms, through social media. I'm a little bit old fashioned. I really believe that face-to-face and one-on-one is the best way to communicate and actively engage with people. I'm energetic, I'm excited. I can't wait to be out there. And ultimately, every person is going to get to know the surrogate's office one way or another, but let it not be in times of death. Let it be in advance so that we can provide them with the comfort that they know where to go when they need us.
Thank you. Mr. Dressler, same question.
As I said before, we've had an education project over the last 25 years, going out to individual groups, people. I've spoken to as many as 150 people at a time. I've spoken to as few as 2 people at a time to educate them about what the surrogate's office is and the need for wills, powers of attorney, and advanced medical directives and living wills. We've also instituted 11 satellite surrogate offices around Bergen County to make sure that people are able to take care of their details in their own setting. They don't have to come to Hackensack. They can go to Crestfield. They can go to Richfield. They can go to Ridgewood. They can go to these towns and feel that they're close to where their home base is. The outreach program that we've had has been very successful. Talk to some of the people. You know, the problem is that this is a job for an attorney. It's a job for someone that's got a knowledge of 3B, that knows the process of probate and estates, not an architect who's looking at it as a project.
Thank you. And the last question, and Mr. Dressler, you get to answer it first. If you had the chance to undertake one new initiative to improve the surrogate's office, what would it be?
No, that one initiative is in the process right now. It's to preserve the records of Bergen County history. It's something that's extremely important. These papers are very, very fragile. Through my relationship with the freeholders over a number of years, both Republican and Democratic freeholder boards, we've secured the funds to do that, and we're in the process of beginning it right now.
Thank you. Ms. Skornas.
I would just like to say, Judge Dressler, I am an attorney. You have to be an attorney to run for surrogate in the state of New Jersey. In the state of New Jersey?
Actually, you don't. There are more surrogates in the state of New Jersey who are not lawyers than are lawyers.
I went to law school so that I could better equitably engage with our community, and that's why I feel fully prepared to tackle the challenges of this office. And I'm just drawing a blank on your question again. I'm sorry.
I'll repeat the question.
Yes, please.
It asked if you had the chance to undertake one new initiative to improve the surrogate's office, what would it be?
The initiative, I think, would be the community engagement. I'm all about getting out there and being with the people, in the midst of the people, and trying to provide better outreach and equal access to the facility, whether it's inside or outside, or through technologically advancing the office. Again, I just think we need to try harder to reach out further to those that don't know what the office does.
Thank you. And that brings us to our closing statements. Each candidate was asked to prepare a 2-minute closing, and Ms. Skornas, you get to go first.
Thank you again for doing this for us. It's been a pleasure being here. Look, the bottom line is that this election is not about Judge Dressler or me. It's about the people of Bergen County and who is most fit to serve as surrogate for the next 5 years. My candidacy is about change. Today's uncertainty in the wake of the pandemic has shown us that when times are as challenging as these, the people need an innovative thinker for tomorrow's solutions. My skills as an architect and attorney are precisely what is necessary to lead this office. I'm a problem solver, used to changing to uncertain times. I would offer a fresh perspective for engaging our community and a passionate advocate for our most vulnerable. My decision to run came from the strength afforded to me by my faith and from values taught by my parents, which affect every decision I make. Those values are compassion, humanity. My grandmother spoke very little English, but she taught me the greatest lesson: to see and connect to the humanity of the person in front of me. Accommodation. This pandemic has shown us that those most vulnerable are the most isolated. I'll find innovative ways to accommodate people inside and outside the walls of the surrogate's office. Neutrality. As surrogate, I will be neutral and impartial. God, who gave me the skills to serve as surrogate and whose guidance I will seek in meeting the people's needs. And education. As surrogate, I will work to educate all ages and equip people with the power of knowledge. Compassion, humanity, accommodation, neutrality, God, and education. Together, they spell the key word change. And with your vote on November 2nd, we will build strength through change. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Dressler.
My opponent on her website utilizes a slogan, strength through change. She uses a characteristic for each letter of the word change. For C, she uses compassion. Well, after the tragedy of 9/11, our office led the state by finding innovative ways to create temporary guardianships for the 137 families that utilized our office. She uses H for humanity. Last year, when the pandemic struck, we quickly developed a remote system so that probates and court proceedings had no interruption in service. In fact, our office never left. We were there every single day for the people of Bergen County. For A, she uses accommodate. I created 11 surrogate satellite offices around the county to accommodate our residents and implemented Bergen County's first guardianship monitoring program. Neutrality. There's no Democratic or Republican way to probate a will. We treat everyone equally. But if you have any questions, talk to the spouses of former Republican Attorney General Carrie Edwards, Mayor Freeholder Lenny Kaiser, and Mayor and Freeholder Dick Muller. Ask their wives how well they were treated in our office. God, she has for G. I'm not even going to get into who loves God more than the other. Education, we've reached tens of thousands of Bergen County residents by educating people about wills and other documents necessary for the future. One of the missing things from her agenda, their characteristics like leadership, experience, and a knowledge of the law, which are mandatory for any good surrogate. Whether it was as mayor, county council, Rutgers University, Holy Name, or Bergen County surrogate, I believe I have shown that ability to lead. In private practice, I probated scores of wills. My opponent has never probated a will and has little knowledge of the tenets of probate law. For the past 25 years, my operating budget is down 11%. Revenues have increased 129%, and our caseload has increased by a staggering 489%. As a child, my parents ingrained in me that the true measure of success is not money or property, but the ability to positively impact people's lives every day. I believe I have done that through the course of my life. I ask you to allow me the ability to do that for the next 5 years by supporting me as Bergen County surrogate.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Nikki, back to you. Nikki, you're muted. Oh. You're still muted.
Yep. Okay. Sorry. Thank you for attending, and I hope you found this candidate forum informative. We expect to have a recording of it available soon. I encourage you and others to visit vote411.org, where you'll find the recording, as well as on the Bergen County website. On Vote 411, you'll also see respondents from candidates to league questions, which I think may include both of you. It also includes other people that you will find on your ballot. In addition, the League of New Jersey has prepared a nonpartisan analysis of the two ballot issues that people will be voting on. Remember, you have 3 ways to vote: at your polling location on November 2nd, and in-person early voting starting on October 23rd, and vote by mail if you get an application into the county clerk by its deadline, October 26th. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.